Planning for diversity in the classroom. Diversity and inclusion in a classroom setting rarely just happen. A lot of intention, design, and planning go into an inclusive space. Discussed here are a few of the elements of design and planning that contribute to inclusive and diverse learning. To facilitate good understanding, a few definitions and principles should be discussed. The first is differentiation, or differentiated instruction. The second principle we will discuss is UDL, or Universal Design for Learning. The last is backwards design. These concepts work in tandem to create flexible learning environments which promote diversity and inclusion and give all learners opportunities to learn at their personal best. A recent article on the subject dubbed it an essential partnership. Indeed, when researching any one of these ideas, there is often reference made to the other concepts. Differentiated instruction. This principle recognizes that learners are different. Each learner comes with their own unique background, experience, knowledge, and interests, as well as preferred ways of learning. Essentially, by acknowledging that learners are different, it follows that teaching and learning will be different as well. Differentiated instruction begins with the question, who are we teaching? Any good speaker begins with knowing their audience. Good teachers work to know their learners. What are their strengths, challenges, and uniquenesses about each learner? Differentiated instruction then asks, where are we teaching? What are the cultural backgrounds and expectations of the environment? And what advantages and disadvantages do they create for one's learners? What features and resources are there in that environment, and how can we utilize them to a student's advantage? Finally, it asks, how are we teaching? This, of course, relates to the instruction and delivery methods needed to meet each individual's needs. What procedures are in place so that each learner can move forward in their learning? With differentiated instruction, teachers use many systems to track the progress of individual learners with both formative and summative assessment strategies. Teachers approach teaching and learning from many angles with a full range of teaching strategies. Some examples are learning centers, collaborative group activities, self-assessments, teacher think-alouds, student self-verbalization, and explicit instruction. Universal Design for Learning is an approach to curriculum design which uses our understanding of how people learn from a neuroscientific standpoint. Instead of asking the questions from the teacher's perspective, as with differentiated instruction, UDL looks at the questions from the learner's point of view. It has been discovered that there are three main neural networks within the brain that engage in the learning process. If unused, the brain prunes these networks down, but if regularly used, the brain grows and is strengthened. The first can be described as the affective network. It deals with the question, why do I want to learn? The second neural network is for recognition and can be understood by the question, what do I want to learn? The third neural network is the strategic network, which asks the question, how do I want to learn? UDL breaks up curriculum planning for a teacher so that learning engagements are planned to frequently answer these questions to students in a variety of ways using differentiated instruction. This ensures that all neural networks are regularly stimulated and many connections are made between them for better learning. Activities can be categorized in three ways and correlate to the brain's networks. The first is engagement. Activities are specifically designed to activate background knowledge as well as to create a desire to learn, explore, and understand more. It is said that goals drive the nervous system. Individual learning goals become the primary motivator for subsequent learning that takes place. This corresponds to the brain's affective network. Secondly, representation. Adequate and diverse forms of visual information, such as multiple languages, various forms of media, and physical models are created to solidify learning and create more rapid recall. This corresponds to the brain's recognition network. Finally, action and expression. Students engage in activities in which they practice and explore target concepts and skills in ways that gives both them and the teacher feedback about where they are in their own personal learning continuum. They are challenged to think more deeply, come at problems from various angles, and make connections across domains. This corresponds to the brain's strategic network. So how do teachers design all this? One commonly used strategy is called backwards design. It begins at the end. The first question asked is, what do we want the student or students to know or have by the end of the course of study? Typically, some sort of scope and sequence or curriculum guide is referred to as a reference. Then the teacher looks at the gap between where students are and where they want to help the students get to, and works backwards with plans that lead to where the students are currently at. On the journey, various assessments are planned, a sort of signpost to serve as evidence that the journey across the breadth of knowledge and skill that is being acquired. The question here is, how will we know what has been learned? Finally, once acceptable evidences are determined, learning experiences and scaffolds often result as a means to build up to the assessments. These can be seen as the stepping stones that lay the path, each signpost which, when followed, takes the students to the end where the teacher began. When one keeps in mind the three concepts of differentiated instruction, universal design for learning, and backwards planning, the result is a flexible and multifaceted structure that teaches to a vast array of learners. This dynamic approach to teaching requires a lot of flexibility from the teacher, the learners, the learning community, and the learning environment. Flexible grouping is a practice that often comes up when differentiating. Groups are sometimes organized around sameness to allow the teacher to assign group tasks to similar students, and at other times around differences to allow members to contribute in various ways to a task based on their strengths. Flexible seating is another way that classrooms can serve more diverse learners. No longer do well-designed classrooms remain static, but rather because activities, learning engagements, and tasks will constantly vary. Classes need to be able to adjust and change according to need. We can see that flexibility occurs both in the practices of the teacher and in the learning environments that are set up. Environments can be understood in two senses. The atmosphere that is created by the values and goals of the learning community, and the physical space in which learning and teaching happen. The cultural environment is designed through a school's values, mission, vision, and subsequent policies. It is further developed and driven by the relationships that exist within the community. The physical environment can be designed with inclusion in mind and works to support the previously mentioned structures. Buildings with adequate wheelchair access, for instance, accommodate greater diversity. Various lighting sources in a classroom can help to adjust the environment as needed for a variety of learners. Having flexible seating allows for differentiating learning spaces, and having enough space allows more hands-on activities. Adequate storage space for tools and manipulatives enables varied strategies for learning. Physical spaces, school structure, and teaching and learning practices all combine to create diverse and inclusive environments. These must be planned with intention, designed, and supported by all stakeholders in a school environment for the greatest possible outcome.